What's up YouTube, Fallout Freak here, and I'm back with another locations video. So we talked about Novak in my last Fallout locations video, which is the Fallout New Vegas location. So we're going to be talking about a Fallout 3 location in this video, and that location is none other than Grayditch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Grayditch from Fallout 3. Grayditch is a settlement located on the outskirts of the Washington, D.C. ruins south of the Super Duper Mart in 2277. Background: before the Great War, Grayditch was an affluent community of brownstone houses and paved brick walkways. The nuclear devastation reduced most of it to rubble, and the post-war settlement of Grayditch is a mere attempt at eking out a living in the remains of the formerly fancy neighborhood. The settlement's dangerous location and the surrounding wildlife, giant ants were a constant nuisance, made it undesirable for most settlers who never chose to stay for long. By 2277, its population was just 7 people, almost all of whom had only been there for a year. These 7 people consisted of one unnamed resident, 2 families, and a scientist with a special research project. The Wilkes family, Fred and his son Brian, moved into their house in 2276, while the Brandis family, William, Sheila, and their son Will, moved in across from them in October 2276. The scientist Dr. Weston Lesko arrived on November 15, 2276, and his actions caused the downfall of the small community. Dr. Lesko sought to genetically modify the giant ants ravaging the wasteland back to their pre-war size. Using the ant colony in the nearby Marigold Station for his experiments, injecting their egg broods with an FEV-based mutagen. This backfired, however, and instead of shrinking the ants, he inadvertently increased their aggression and caused them to develop the ability to spew fire. Realizing his error, Lesko retreated into his lab to try and fix his mistakes. While above ground, the fire ants had overran the town by June 2277. In the ensuing chaos, Fred Wilkes and William Brandis were killed. Excuse me, voice cracked there a little bit. While Sheila and Will Brandis simply vanished, the unnamed 7th resident fled into the wasteland, leaving Brian Wilkes hiding in a Pulowski preservation shelter, the only survivor left in Grayditch. Layout: Grayditch is a small suburban town which consists mainly of ruined housing, a Dot's Diner, a Pulowski preservation shelter, and the Marigold Station. So that's a little bit about Grayditch. Let me go ahead and show you the outside of Grayditch. I'm going to go ahead and get to my desktop for a second. And this right here is Grayditch. See how rundown and dilapidated it is, how cracked the road is right here, and how beaten up and run down all these buildings are. Look at this tree right here, no leaves or hardly any branches left at all. Now I'm going to get to where it is located on the Pip-Boy map of Fallout 3. So here is Grayditch right here. As you can see, it's East SouthEast of Megaton. I did another Fallout locations video on Megaton. Please be sure to check that one out. And it looks like it's located just south of the Super Duper Mart, which is another place that I mentioned in the article that I read. But yeah, here's Grayditch, and let me go ahead and show you. There you go. Where Grayditch, all the stuff that's in Grayditch. Like here's the Marigold Station. I talked about that. Here's the Wilkes house. Here's the Brandis' house. And there's an abandoned home. Like I said, it's really run down. And yeah, this is pretty much the layout of Grayditch on the Fallout Pip-Boy map. I'll show you an more outer version of it. Here's Grayditch, Megaton, Super Duper Mart. There's Vault 101 right there where you start the game. And that is my video on Grayditch. Let me go ahead and get back to my webcam right here. That's Grayditch for you guys. So hit me up in the comment section below and please let me know what you thought about this video. And until my next locations video, you must always remember that war never changes.